We can't leave a quarter of the Hamas terror army in place. They're there in Rafah. This would be equivalent to saying, you know, after the Allies fought back, gone through Normandy, went through Germany, and you'd say, well, we'll leave a quarter of the Nazi army in place and we won't go into Berlin, the last strongholds. Look, it's either Israel or Hamas. There's no middle way.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defending his nation's right to defeat an enemy sworn to its destruction. Now, Israel's planned offensive on Rafah is raising tensions between President Biden and the Israeli leader. Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall wrote, "Saved, a war reporter's mission to make it home," which is available today in paperback, and run to the store, get it, order it. It is a fabulous book. And Benjamin joins us live in the studio now. What a pleasure to have you here. I know you're following what's happening in Gaza very closely. As we follow sort of the domestic politics here and then the back and forth between Biden and Netanyahu, how is it playing there on the ground?
Well, I think one of the concerns right now is that the U.S. may be pulling back in a sense. And I was in Israel just a few weeks ago, and that is a concern for many people. They understand that, everyone I spoke to understands that the reason the IDF are inside Gaza is to get rid of Hamas. And many of them acknowledge that to get rid of Hamas, you have to go into Rafah. And so the message from President Biden a few days ago that it would be a red line for him if they did is concerning for many of them. You've got to be really careful drawing red lines. You know, President Obama did it inside Syria, and that backfired on him. So people are concerned right now about the continuing U.S. support, but they all acknowledge that if you are going to get rid of Hamas, you have to go into Rafah, and we expect to see that soon.
So we're just going to play this out here. Number 2 and then 1, guys. This is the president the other day about this red line that may or may not be there.
It is a red line, but I'm never going to leave Israel. The defense of Israel is still critical, so there's no red line. You cannot have 30,000 more Palestinians dead as a consequence of going after. There's other ways to deal with the trauma caused by Hamas.
So that was over the weekend, and then this was yesterday, clean up in aisle 4, apparently, or something.
Again, I don't think that it's productive to assign a red line sort of terminology to what is a very complex set of policies. Before, and I think you've heard him say, and I'll reiterate here, that he thinks that there are other approaches which we have taken and are taking that are more effective in obtaining our goals.
I think the point here is that Israel has a vote in this, and Netanyahu has shown no inclination to back away from the fight to destroy Hamas in Gaza.
No, he said very clearly that there is a red line for him, and that is to make sure October 7th never happens again. That was his red line. But there was also some perhaps reports that President Biden would be considering reducing military aid and assistance to Israel if they did go in. But then he pulled back again. He said, but not the Iron Dome system, nothing that would perhaps endanger Israel. So the thoughts are, what possibly could that be that they are perhaps talking to Israel about? But again, it just worries the Israelis at the moment.
Ben, so you are here in America. You're talking about the paperback edition of your book, and wondering about how sacrifice and survival then help lead you to the podcast, which I think is really great. You know, I'm a podcast enthusiast. It's Searching for Heroes with Benjamin Hall. And it seems sort of seamless to me that you wrote the book, which is an excellent book, and now you get to talk about other heroes.
Yeah, it's amazing. One of the great things about the book is that so many people have been far more open and honest with me. For whatever reason, they know you've gone through something really difficult and they want to share things that they've gone through with you. So that's where the podcast comes from. And I've sat down with countless incredible people who have gone through really difficult things but have come up on the other side stronger. And that's what I'm trying to find out. That's what I want to understand. And I've spoken to doctors and people who work in the resilience sector. Why do some people come out of difficult situations feeling stronger, and why do other people fall off? I speak to a lot of veterans who have had injuries like I have, and they lose their identity, they lose their family bonds, they lose things. And so what is that difference? And that's what I look at in the podcast, and also that's what I lay out in the book, is that sense of resilience, how you get through difficult things.
Great stuff, and really important stuff, too. And maybe sometime real soon we'll talk about book number 2.
And you're looking very well, and it's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you, too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, Ben.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.